There we go. Good morning, everybody. People want to see my morning routine. As everybody knows, it consists of making the smoothie, but actually I didn't get to show the beginning. I'm just getting up here. I just had my hydrogen water. I had 1 liter, obviously super clean hydrogen water from my, um, I almost called it a holy Hydrofix. It's the Lourdes Hydrofix, and with really clean water in there. And I did a liter, empty stomach. Today I actually took some probiotics just because there was a company that sent some to me. And well, I guess I'll just show you what they sent me. I like them. I'm using them, but I don't normally use a lot of probiotics, but this is what I started with, empty stomach in the morning with my hydrogen water. I like to take probiotics with hydrogen water. In my opinion, as you know, this is not medical advice, but in my opinion, it just enhances the probiotics when you use it together with the hydrogen. So now this is the beginning part of the morning routine. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up right away. Somebody jumped in already. Okay, so I have a basket where I have a lot of the stuff that I use for my smoothies. The very first thing, I'll show you some stuff. Let me move this, maybe so you guys can actually see better. Normally I put it right there in front of the blender, but today I won't. So that way you guys can see what I'm doing here. As far as the morning hangout routine, where's my stuff? There we go. Okay, the very first thing I typically put in there is my purium powder. Now this is again, because the food that I eat, just like everybody's food, is basically nutritionally, it's deficient, right? It's deficient in minerals, it's deficient in nutrients. So I've been using, this was kind of my own little experiment a long time ago. I started putting these really highly nutritional powders in the smoothie to compensate. And you know what? It just has worked so good. And I know that it's worked good because I've been doing the blood work to prove it. And even doctors have asked me, what are you doing to get your numbers like this? And then it's kind of hard to explain, like, well, I make a smoothie. And they're like, what? But so I put 1 scoop of the pure and powder. Now, granted, it doesn't come with a scoop. The reason I have the scoop, oh, thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Good morning, everybody. I am going to use up the rest of the raw meal. I am no longer buying this one anymore. It's not because it's terrible or anything, but there were tests that I found that showed glyphosate in these, and purium is just way more pure, and I'm always going after the most purest stuff. So that's why, and these are the ones that came with the scooper. And so I kept the scoopers and use them for my purium powder. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 scoop of this one also, just so that I can finish this up, because I don't like to be wasteful. So I'm going to use these up. Oh, and this one's the, let's see, Power Shake. That's one. This is the apple berry flavor. That's the one that I found to be the best as far as flavor is concerned. And also as far as nutritional content. They have a bunch of other good products too. In fact, I guess I could show you some of them because, again, they sent me some stuff. And some of them I actually really liked much more than I expected. I got some chlorella too. I used to put chlorella in this quite regularly, and I haven't really stopped. I just put a splash of it because it's so potent. And again, highly, highly nutritional. But I'm not sure I'm going to need it in the near future. But who knows? Maybe my blood work will change and I'll be like, nope, you continue to need chlorella. So that's the one that I put in there. Some of the cool stuff, this one I actually really enjoyed a lot more than I thought I would. Dark berry protein, anti-aging, and collagen support. This stuff, wow. I wish you could smell it. Let's see if you can see the color. I mean, it's all gone, but there was a, oh, it smells like berries. I mean, it just smells so good. And all the, it's got like pomegranates, raspberries, blackcurrant, raspberries, cranberries. I mean, just strawberries, all sorts of stuff. I like their commitment to purity. I mean, it even says right here, pure premium purium. They're just really into it. This is some dark cherry juice, but I'm not going to go into that right now because I'm just going to make this smoothie. I just thought I'd show you some of the stuff that was sent to me. Actually, I bought this stuff. The purium ones I have to buy. But you know what? I'm going to buy this stuff anyway. That's the thing. I can't allow myself to be nutritionally deficient. Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks everybody for the thumbs up and all that good stuff. So this is how I start my mornings. I mean, granted, I obviously start always with hydrogen water. And then after the hydrogen water, this is exactly what I do. I come up here in the mornings and I begin to get all my smoothie stuff out. Let me know if you can hear me, by the way. I got this earpiece and I'm using it so that I can walk around. You know, I don't love wearing the earpiece, but you guys have to hear if I'm going to do this. So let me know. Let's see here. It's weird. I thought I had more salad, but the greens, I guess I must have eaten them all. Well, I guess I did. Wow. Okay. Well, that's always a good thing, though, that I'm going through so many greens, but I could have sworn. Man, you guys should have seen me yesterday. It was so embarrassing. I almost turned on the camera to show you guys, but then I thought, I shouldn't do that. I got really, really emotional yesterday with food. Let's see here. Mary Hart Enterprises, aka Tana Bag, says, I have an off-topic question. Distilling my own water, purify it in... Why is it cutting out? It's cutting out your question. Purify it if it... I'm just going to guess it says has poisons in it. I'm concerned because spills in the East Palestine, Ohio area. Now, in my opinion, now granted, you can actually Google a lot of stuff like that, but in my opinion, probably really going to depend on the poisons, but I'm going to say most likely yes. That's going to be my opinion. Why? Watch my video 388, because, I mean, the lab, every time I don't have the slip I want to show you, the third-party lab tests. And thanks for your question, of course. And yeah, I'm happy to answer your questions. I mean, we're hanging out for free. And I'll answer your questions for free if you guys catch me live, obviously. And I mean, the carbon distillation just cleans everything. I mean, they even showed radioactive. Whoops, shoot. See what I just did there? I just grabbed one of the really nasty pieces and I was going to throw it in the compost and I threw it right in the smoothie. I'm like, exactly what I don't want to do. That's hilarious. I'll laugh about it instead of getting upset. In my opinion, yes. Simple answer, yes. Nothing else will, by the way. I mean, carbon distillation, there are other types of distillers that have to be custom made, though, if you try to purify even to the higher levels. But to be honest, I mean, just like the distillers that I use and recommend, I mean, again, I've seen the third-party lab test rating. And you know what? The lab test, I'm just going to go with the lab test. I don't want to call third-party every time. The lab test really impressed me because, see, here's the thing, guys. People ask me all the time. They're like, well, how about this? You know, like, why have you done a lab test on this? Can you prove this? You know, like a lot of my comments, you know, that I say about different things. Right now, I'll just talk about Brown's gas because that's what people have been asking about. Well, have you lab tested it? And it's like, look, guys, everything that I've practically guessed on, and it's not like I'm just guessing. I'm guessing with what's the word I'm looking for? It's an intelligent guess. Let's put it that way. Educated guess, as they say. And my educated guesses have basically been spot on. I've been because I've been verifying them. In fact, I just verified some stuff recently about that stuff, and I don't want to go too far into it because I really don't want to throw those companies under the bus or anything. It's just that people ask, and I've tried them, and they were no good, and that's all there was to that. And people get upset about it and want lab tests, but then when there is lab tests, like just recently, some don't even want to show me now their reports once they get them, you know, and stuff like that, or they try to be a little secretive about it. And that's fine because I know that stuff's going to probably show up. And it has. And this has been a lot of the stuff that I've been saying is now being validated. It took years because there's been companies that have been upset at me, and then they'll, like one of the companies actually sent me their lab tests, and I'm like, geez, didn't you guys see your own lab tests? Because I literally found all sorts of stuff on them. And I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they were thinking by, I don't know, lying about it or whatever. It was just so funny. But so the point is that if you make an educated guess based on the knowledge, the knowledge that I've gained and the knowledge of understanding just how things work. So as far as how distillation works, in my opinion, it will. It will get the stuff out of there. And if you're super concerned, you can actually double distill the water. You can do it twice, but I don't think that will be necessary. Not with the distillers that I'm recommending. Maybe some cheap Chinese ones. And I hate to throw China under the bus here, but I'm going to be making a video here soon. If you guys want, comment below. I recently bought some black fermented garlic, and I absolutely love that stuff. And then I recently got some Japanese one, and one's from China. And guys, and there's almost nobody in here, so only the few people in here will be the privileged ones to know. But all I'll tell you, because I'm going to do a video about it, what a difference. See, this is why I like Japanese stuff. The quality, in fact, that was the embarrassing part yesterday. I'm going to share something with you guys embarrassing, and probably shouldn't, but I guess I will. Maybe I'm considering it, because it makes me vulnerable, but anyway, I'll share in a second. There seems to be Frank Richards says, yes, distilled water is the cleanest water there is. That's right. Roblet. I heard David Wolf say that all public municipal water supplies are contaminated, yep, with radioactive tritium, and no amount of filtering removes it. I don't believe that. Distillers might, though, but I have no idea. Yeah, how do you think they actually eliminate things like deuterium? I mean, it's through distillation. I posted a link to a video about gut bacteria. David Wolf needs to have a conversation with me. You know what, guys? I would say someone, but maybe everyone right now in this chat room, write him an email and say, you need to talk to the hydrogen man. Sometimes people respond better when they hear from someone else rather than, but of course they typically don't want to talk to someone unless there's money involved. But let's see, I posted a link to a video about gut bacteria producing essential amino acids using cellulose and dietary fiber. It disappeared. I'll try to repost. I think you will like the video, says Northern Yeti. Well, brother, I mean, yeah, but you know what? I already do a lot of fiber, which we're about showing you right now, and I do all the hydrogen, which is also amazing for the gut flora. Have you fasted just with hydrogen water? Sonji. Yes, Sonji. This is part of one of my protocols actually, which I follow. But yes, in the end, fasting with hydrogen water, in my opinion, there is no research yet. But remember, and again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, I have predicted many things throughout the years that turned out to be basically correct. And one of them is hydrogen water for fasting, which hasn't been proven yet, but the majority of the stuff that I predicted, I would say well over 80% of it has come to pass that it was correct. So some of the reasons that some of these shows have had me on, there's one show that had me on because of, they think I don't even want to say it, but they think I'm a prophet because I don't want to say prophesizing, but basically I said the things, I predicted things before they happen. Let's put it that way. But again, a lot of it is just, well, for me, I would say common sense, but it's not common sense for others. I have a very strange way of looking at things. I'm putting some raisins in here. Yes, it makes it sweet, but these have natural boron, and I've really been into boron. And I just happen to actually have them too left over, so that's why. Gonna use them up because, and you know what? Sun-dried raisins, how could they not be good for you? I mean, sun-dried grapes. Anything that's a fruit or vegetable, I'm pretty much down with. For the most part. Okay, next one, ginger. All right, let's see. Riblet says, I just came off a 6-day fast with hydrogen water, but I had other supplements and liquids. Well, that's probably a smart thing, though. It's really good to keep your nutritional levels up. Organic ginger, next. While you're fasting, you will be depleted. See, in my opinion, I did fasting, I guess you could call it the wrong way. Before, because I've done a lot of fasts. I was doing a lot of fasting to try to heal myself. And look, fasting is awesome, but did it heal me? No. I needed I needed the power of hydrogen. I needed clean water. I needed certain nutrients so that I wouldn't be deficient. And just a lifestyle change. I needed to eliminate certain foods out of my lifestyle. There's just a lot of things that I needed. And one thing that I've noticed, I was thinking about doing a video. I guess you guys could comment below. I was thinking about doing another video recently about long-term usage of hydrogen because there's something happening. I was actually sharing this with someone yesterday who I trust. And I was telling them, like, I'm just not even sure if I want to actually talk about it because it gets too into, I don't want to call it the tinfoil hat realm, but something's going on with me. And like I said, it's almost, gosh, should I say it? It's almost like I'm connecting to something so much bigger. And it makes me, it confuses me sometimes because there's a difference between what you feel, just like in the flesh, like, oh, I feel hungry or I feel happy or whatever. But there's certain emotions that I just believe come from your, not just your heart. You can call your heart, yeah, your heart, your spirit. And yesterday, this was the embarrassing thing. I wasn't sure if I was going to share. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. But my viewers, some of them, have expressed that they like when I open up more. And it's not that I'm afraid of being vulnerable. It's just the way that people sometimes react. So that's why I stopped, being so vulnerable. I don't have a problem with it, but it's weird. It's weird how people, it's just weird how people are sometimes. And then that can be obviously hurtful. So I usually stay away from certain things or even certain topics. But let's see here. Let's see if I'm answering everybody's questions. How was your fast, Riblet? Riblet says, I want to hear it, Greg. I'm most excited about the long-term benefits. Only been doing it for a year now, but the cleaner your body gets, the more spiritual gifts can emerge. Riblet, that's exactly what's happening. Man, that's exactly what's happening. And I've been working on it for years. I mean, there's a book that really, really convinced me. And let me tell you, I'm not an easy guy to convince. I mean, I am actually highly, highly skeptical about things, and things need to make sense. And a lot of it, you need to prove it to me. Now you don't necessarily have to prove it with like some scientific study. Like I said, I just need proof in regards to, like, it needs to make sense. But yeah, ultimately, what was happening, I just can't describe it. That's the thing. I can tell you what happened. Maybe. I keep getting close, and then I'm like, I'm not sure I want to say this because it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I almost turned on the camera and went live and thought, should I share this with my viewers? I'm going to put hydrogen water in this now. Extremely clean hydrogen water. It doesn't have to be hydrogen water. You could just put clean water. I like to add water as I go because it makes it easier for the blender to actually blend. So, okay, let's see here. So, basically, let's go natto next. Yeah, the thing that happened was, can't get the words out. Somebody was asking you though, Riblet, about your fasting experience, and I think fasting is just something so fascinating, really, especially what I've been recently learning. I mean, I've been learning a lot about cancer. Cancer is clearly tricky, and personally, and this is a very, I'm not making any claims, so this is not a claim. Let's just say, can it be beat? In my opinion, based on things that I have literally seen, which, by the way, blew my mind, I would say the answer is yes. And why did it blow my mind? We're going to get a little bit into your Riblet Roblet stuff guy who was commenting here. It blew my mind so much that I felt like I had to question reality. Why? Why did it affect me so much? Well, in my opinion, after reflecting on it a lot, I feel like I've been brainwashed. And I don't want to say brainwashed in take that term loosely. The reason that I say that is because what happens is, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, billions of dollars have been spent trying to figure out the whole cancer thing, right? Which is great. We're learning a lot, and in fact, I have new information about it. So if you guys are interested, I can share some of the new info and data that I've discovered. But how could a silly guy like me, and when I say silly, I mean, am I some super genius with huge deep pockets like Elon Musk or whatever? No. So we have to activate it, guys. Remember, otherwise, it's better when you activate it, which means you have to stir it at least 100 times according to the data from Japan. They've done so many studies on natto. Incredible. I already forgot what I was talking about. Lost track here. Oh, the cancer thing. Yeah, how could a silly guy like me, potentially do a protocol or something that would potentially work? Silly. But when I saw it work, when I saw the scans and the tumor shrinking or the tumors disappearing, it just blew my mind. Like I thought reality, like something wasn't right, because we're only supposed to believe and accept what a physician tells us or whatever. And I don't want to go down that road too long on this video. I'm just saying that I just felt like, I think I've been brainwashed a little bit, because I only believed that they could have the answers. But yet what I did, see the same thing what I did with hydrogen. Hydrogen, I was skeptical of it, just so you guys know. I really was skeptical. And I kept reading the data. For years, I read the data without actually applying it. And after a while, it was like, okay, I'm going to try this stuff. And even after reading the data, I was still skeptical. But when I really saw it working, I thought, how is this possible that something exists? And here, I'm gonna go do something. I'm gonna turn down my heater. It's kind of warm. I turned it up this morning because it was cold. Now it's getting too hot. Oops. Oh, shoot, I totally screwed up. Oh, boy. There you go. Messed up the whole, I don't know. It's got one of these electrical panels, and I pushed the wrong button. Now it's like, now I can't adjust the heater. Well, then if that's the case, you can see how this thing's getting real foamy and slimy. That's the way it's supposed to be, guys. It's alive. And let me tell you something. Living food, in my opinion, is much better than dead food. So that's why I like stuff that's fermented, sometimes raw. Well, actually, quite often raw. But yesterday was an exception. But it wasn't quite. It was. Yeah, I wasn't gonna share with you guys about yesterday. Yeah. So I just felt like I was brainwashed a little bit, because I just had a hard time believing. Literally, had a hard time believing what I was seeing. And it's funny. The doctor who did the scans, he made some very strange comments. I mean, really strange. Almost like I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what he was saying. I'm like, dude, you must be an intelligent man. Why are you saying the things that you're saying when you clearly see that the tumors have shrunk dramatically and some even disappeared? And he's like, oh, you better stop what you're doing. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Well, we're not really sure what could happen. I'm like, oh yeah, well, we know what will happen if you don't do nothing, right? You probably die. It's like, what's the difference, Anyway, it was really, really weird. It felt very like Twilight Zone type of. It really did, and I was there. I witnessed it, and I just was like, "Wow!" See, that's what I mean about me being a little too skeptical. Sometimes I got to witness things. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to scroll through all the comments here. How was your fast, Riblet? And Sonji says, "Are you talking about your fast?" Question mark. Me? No, I'm not. Well, I did, I guess, earlier. Seeking and Being said, hi. I think you should have a separate channel for the spiritual talk so that this channel doesn't get flagged. That's a good idea, actually. And I'm going to do it in the very near future, so stay tuned. Riblet says, so it's fasting. It was great. I worked in the golf biz for 20 years, so I have extensive heavy metal and chemical poisoning. Yikes, I know what you mean. I used to do liver gallbladder flushes with no results. Wow. Riblet. But on the fast, I was nauseous for 2 days. Ooh, that's always rough. It really works. Everything works better on a fast. I need to keep doing them though. I like the idea of one fast a week, like every Sunday or something or Saturday. 1 day a week, 24 hours, only hydrogen water. Hydrogen works better on fasts. I would probably agree with you. So that's an interesting note right there, Riblet, because there is no data on that. See, it would make sense, but nobody's thought of doing a scientific study on that. And supplements and cleanses are enhanced on fasts, potentially. I actually feel the inhalation on a fast and get the lightheaded and feel the hydrogen move through my body. Ooh, I love that stuff. Wow, amazing, says Sonji. Do you have amalgam fillings? Thankfully, no, says Riblet. And I feel like I'm reading a little story. like, thank you, Piglet. Have you guys ever seen that Dao the Pooh? That's the name of the book. Dao the Pooh is quite cute, actually. It's like a Taoist thing, but with Winnie the Pooh stories. But it is written so well. I mean, they really did do I was impressed. They did a good job on that. I was going to put a banana in here. And you know what? I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and do it anyway, but I don't normally do two. It just depends on the day. But today I'm only going to do one because I put raisins in here today, and that's going to be quite sweet. And when there's a bad spot on the banana, I usually break it off. It's funny how a bad apple can ruin all apples. How did that start, right? But interesting. So yeah, this is the morning routine every morning. Oh, I forgot we put walnuts in here. I forgot to say they're highly anti-cancerous. Obviously, protein, oils. But all this stuff. Natto has so much protein. It's kind of ridiculous. They even warn you not to eat, I think, more than 3 packets a day or something because it's just too much protein. Too much protein. And everybody's always worried about how to get protein. They want to give people like Pediasure or whatever that milk product is. And milk is awesome if it was like the most natural way, meaning like straight from the mother's breast to the baby and magical. Okay, now we're putting soaked hydrogen chia seeds. Obviously, more protein, omegas, and lots of minerals though. I like that too. Lots of good minerals in there. And what else? Well, things like calcium and just nutrients. This is literally my vitamin. This is my vitamin, and it happens to fill me up. So that's why let's see. Do you ever do blended salads, like without fruits or berries? No, I don't. It's probably the K2 more than the protein. Yeah, the K2 is actually, there's vitamin K in the natto. No, I don't blend up a salad. I could. I could do an all vegetable smoothie. And if you notice, most of the stuff in here is vegetables. The fruit is basically the blueberries and the banana. And that's about it. It's mostly vegetables. But I like those particular fruits that I chose. Why am I choosing this one? I thought I had more celery, but I'm just do this one so I don't go looking for the other one. These are much easier though. They're all cut up for me. But yeah, you know what? You can totally modify this this smoothie. It's not like it has to be everything I put, by the way. I do what is most local to me, and I also try to do what's freshest, cleanest, local. And then I also do look at the price because I'm not super rich. If I was, God Almighty, I don't know what I'd be putting in this thing. Probably be putting, I don't know. I might step it up a little bit. I don't know. Truth is, I feel like I spent quite a bit on my health, and it's actually ended up not being nearly as expensive as I thought because I eliminated so many other things. I don't really like go out to dinner, and that's expensive. I don't buy things like soda pop or even bottled water. Believe it or not, that gets really expensive. You spend money up front for like your distiller, your hydrogen machine. But once you have them, they just last so long, they end up actually being cheaper. Okay, what brand of natto do you use? I don't remember. I'd have to grab the packet. What I really look for is that they're made in Japan and that they're organic, if possible. But I've seen a lot of stuff about Japan. This is the funny thing about Japan. For the longest time, they never even knew what organic was. They're funny people because they're so ahead of the game in some ways, and then in other ways, they're just almost so like what's the word I'm looking for? Like innocent, and they just what all they've really tried to do is always grow food with literally little to no pesticides. And so I've seen some of their stuff lab tested compared to like organic stuff from China and non-organic from Japan. And the Japanese one has like almost no pesticides in it. And they just recently, literally recently, started getting into the whole organic thing, and making the difference, as far as telling people, hey, this is organic. But you know what? I gotta say, there's gonna be something, or at least there has to be something that comes out that is even better than organic. Because organic is, I mean, I'm using it, but because it's the best I can do. But there's got to be something better. And personally, I would love to at some point. Like the guy I really want to talk to is actually Elon Musk's brother. Apparently, he's doing some type of agriculture research. I don't know. They're probably trying to figure out how to grow food and change the world. But I have this like extremely amazing idea, which Riblet. I don't know if that was you, but this is what I mean about I feel like hydrogen sometimes like literally communicating with me because I came up with these crazy ideas. I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, I am not a scientist. Where am I getting these crazy ideas? And I've had a lot of them ever since I've been on hydrogen. I've been getting all these ideas, and I would say, like I said, at least 80% of them have come out to be true. And some of them are so outlandish that I'm like, why is this coming to me? And I would do some research and I would find data that supports my hypothesis. And I'm like, man, this is wild. I even presented some of it to a UCLA scientist slash doctor. And he actually was like, you know what? It actually makes sense, though it doesn't seem that anybody had ever thought about it. Some of my ideas are like, they're like water. They're just simple, but yet complex and could be amazing. And obviously water is so simple yet so beautifully complex in a very strange way. And these ideas, one of them, because I've had a lot of them, one of them actually has to do with agriculture. I believe that I have a potential method, but it would cost, millions of dollars to really see it through, to grow food that I believe the world hasn't seen for thousands of years. But I do believe it exists. We just haven't done it. So I don't even think this food is anywhere on the planet at this time that I envisioned that we could grow. And the food would be so highly, not just nutritious. I mean, it would be literally magic for human body, human health, in my opinion. I'm literally like, I'm not making a claim about this theoretical food that doesn't even exist. You're making claims about stuff that doesn't exist. That would be funny. But anyway, yeah. So I think that we could make food that would really, really change human health. It would be absolute medicine beyond what we've ever seen, even at this time. And there's already a lot of foods out there that are like superfoods, but it would be nothing compared to if what I'm appearing to see was true. Okay, we're putting carrots, right? Obviously, after celery, I forget to tell you guys the ingredients, but I figure you're seeing it all, but maybe not. So yes, I would like to share that knowledge because I would like him to just, like, I would give it away. I would give it away for free to him. It would have to be the right person with the, rather than see, I don't want it to be the wrong person who would just like, oh, I'm just going to steal your idea and I don't know, hide it forever. No, I'd give it away to the right person and with the proper funding and the right heart to want to carry it out and see it through and give it to the people, share it with the people basically in the end. And I personally think this idea would also help a lot with the whole travel to Mars thing because, I mean, they're going to have to grow food when they get there. And this particular method that I've been envisioning would actually work perfectly if you brought the proper equipment. And I think you could actually do it on that planet. That's interplanetary farming. That sounds like a pretty good website. Interplanetary farming. For those of you who don't live on planet Earth, we're all on planet Earth. Silly goose. I like purple and red carrots, says somebody. You know what? I do too. I guess I could buy those and switch it up a little bit. That wouldn't be the worst idea. I don't know if they're cheaper, more expensive. I guess I have to look. I get these huge bags of organic carrots, so cheap. I'm actually just blown away by it because I'm thinking, man, who's growing this and how much effort? And I could just buy a bag for $5. And carrots are like superfood, in my opinion. Just very, very good for you. And I like, I actually don't really like cooked carrots. I mean, if everybody else does, that's cool. But I like them when they're crunchy. They taste sweeter to me when they're cooked. They're kind of like mushy and soggy. And sometimes it's not too bad. I mean, it's not like I never liked cooked carrots. But I do like them when they're raw. But it's hard to eat, multiple raw carrots. But when you run it through the blender, it just kind of brings a little sweetness. I personally like it. Obviously, this is how I get my morning going. This all really hydrates my colon. A lot of amazing fibers for my microbiome. I'll tell you one thing, I can't imagine what my microbiome looks like after years of this, which that's what's been going on. And all the hydrogen water and all the data about it. Now see, today, I'm not putting beets in this like I normally do. And I'm not putting 2 bananas like I normally do. So what am I gonna do? I guess I'm just gonna put more carrots. I don't have to, I could stop at any moment, I guess. This will be my last one. But carrots are good for you. Lots of antioxidants. A lot of people don't know that there was some research done on organic food. Like, for example, they would take an organic carrot and they would take a non-organic carrot. And they look the same, so you think everything's the same. Nope. They did discover that the organic food has a much higher levels of antioxidants. And that right there is enough for me. I mean, granted, I'm trying to avoid pesticides, and that's what I was originally doing. I didn't know that there would be any huge difference as far as nutritional content, but as far as, and there is apparently, but antioxidants, more antioxidants naturally within a fruit or vegetable, I'll pay for that because the magic of antioxidants. Some people try to poo-poo antioxidants, like, they're overrated. It's like, I don't think that because I've seen people sell powders that are like, oh, this has so many antioxidants, but it's different. It's different when it comes from the whole food, the way that nature, or if you want to call it God, or whoever designed it. It just seems like their design makes more sense than anything there is as far as what the body seems to like. I mean, the body clearly likes, well, typically stuff that's more natural rather than chemical. At least that's been my experience. Like pharmaceuticals, my God, I can't take that stuff. It just kills me. Like when I was in so much pain, oh, I just couldn't take it. All right, it's filled with hydrogen water soaking in there. What's next? Minerals. Why minerals? Well, for one, all these foods have minerals in them, guys, from the chia seeds to the greens. I mean, all the carrots, these all have natural minerals. But the minerals and the deficiencies of the food, they're deficient, in my opinion, in minerals and in nutrients. So for nutrients, I put the powder to overcompensate. And now I'm adding minerals for that other purpose because the minerals seem to work when they bind to fiber. Now, see, this is one of my theories, but guess what? My theory has now officially been proven true. There was a study on it, and it wasn't what the study was supposed to prove, but they just kind of proved it, quote unquote, by accident. And what they ultimately discovered was that the people's bones were rebuilding when they were doing this. They were like, why are they rebuilding? And they realized the minerals with the fibers of fruits and vegetables, you just get such greater absorption. It just really made a difference. And I'm like, well, I've been doing it for some time. So turns out, I guess I was right. Thank God. Well, okay, let's see if this thing will blend. Wow, look at that. Let's go ahead and let it run for a moment. You can hear it chopping everything up. Meanwhile, I dump my compost out here, which you guys can't see. You should see my big bucket of compost. It is a beautiful thing. When I see like my big bucket of compost, I know, hey, that's what's going into my body. When I was young, or when I was younger, whatever you want to call it, I used to have this huge garbage bag. This is embarrassing too. I shouldn't share this either, but these huge garbage bags, I used to live with someone, and it was filled with beer, like all these beer bottles. I remember looking at this gigantic garbage can thinking, God, we consumed all that. All that went through my liver. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, maybe this isn't such a good idea. But when you just hang out and have a beer or two, it doesn't seem like a big deal. And then you have this huge garbage can. So it really, when I look at my compost, it's the same thing. I look at my compost and think, I consumed all that. So periodically, I like to shut it off, and I like to let the food settle towards where the blades are, because when I turn it on again, I can kind of hear it chopping that stuff up. Okay. Let's see, somebody commented something. What do you think about black seed oil? Yeah, it's okay. I've used it before. It's not like a regular thing for me or anything. I used to use cheap carrots too and juice them and blend them with hemp seeds. Pretty tasty. Yeah, that sounds good. Octavio Moreno says, will you please make a list of all the powder and where to get them? Pretty much you get them at iShopPurium.com, and you can get a $50 coupon, which hugely helps. And the coupon is Uprising144K, which is the name of the channel. And I like the Power Shake Apple Berry. That's the one that I'm using. Everything else I'm just using up. So hopefully that answers your question, Octavio. If it doesn't, you can always ask again, or you can even email me. I'm going to cut these with a little hydrogen water, of course. And I should find some different tops for these in a second. I like to cut it with a little, I'm already loaded up on hydrogen water, but I like to cut it with the hydrogen water because I think it just helps again with absorption of nutrients, these type of things. I think we're going to add another secret ingredient. Octavio, you're going to want to know this one, by the way. So let's show it to Octavio. Next person, Robert, says, what do you think about black seed oil? I think I already answered that. Roblet says, isn't it more complex than that? I think some minerals work good with foods and some absorb better on empty, like indium. Well, like I said, I don't try to overcomplicate things. You might be correct. I haven't researched it to that level. All I know is that I added my minerals to my smoothies and it seems to be working good, and I found data about it. I try to keep the health stuff real simple because if you dive too deep, it gets really overcomplicated. The body's way too complicated. And so, okay, this is for Octavio because you want to know some other stuff. And I have videos, by the way, with the links. You can find the video because this one, I'm only going to fill halfway, and I'll show you why in a second, Octavio and everybody else. This one I'm going to fill all the way because it's for later. Okay, keep it fresh. That's why I'm going to run this guy. For this one, I got these two things, Octavio. I've got videos on this. There's like 400 and something, so, check it out. Okay, D3 and K2. Super important. I cannot live without D3. It's just too important. Whoops. Why is this one off? Oh, I was opening up a brand new one. Dang it. I'm shaking the wrong one. Okay, let's shake this one. D3 with K2. Obviously, K2 helps the absorption. So does boron. Boron helps with the absorption of vitamin D. Let's go ahead and put 1, 2, 3, 4. Normally 4. I'm going to put 5. I actually just felt like I was battling something, which I shall remain nameless. But I feel great. So I got through it just fine. Thank goodness. I felt minor stuff instead of it getting serious. Boron, this stuff I love. Why? Good for the brain, bones, ligaments, and sex hormones. So it's good for your testosterone. It's good for even, the natural levels of, like, for example, a female estrogen and her testosterone. Obviously, we have different levels. We don't need to overcomplicate it. The body does it all naturally as long as you give it what it needs, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. Now I poured it in the middle so that I can pour this now and have it all nice mix in there. Then, see, that's the thing too. I just give the body stuff. I like it in food form. That's my big thing. Does that mean that I'm doing it right? No. Maybe there's data that'll come out to prove me wrong, but so far it just keeps proving me right. And I believe in whole foods. Because they have fibers, they have enzymes, they have antioxidants, they have minerals. It's obviously all sorts of different nutrients, phytonutrients. Now I'm going to do hemp hearts. Why hemp hearts? Well, as if I wasn't getting enough protein, I'll tell you, I could live off these smoothies. Organic hemp hearts, the most well-balanced omegas in the world. Lots of nutrition, and they taste good. See, isn't that nice when something actually tastes good, that's good for you? Can't complain about that. Okay, let's try this concoction, shall we? Yummy. Okay. Now, let's see if we can seal this jar. Why am I sealing it? Well, I want to keep all the nutrients in here as much as possible because this is not going to get drunk right now. That's good. I'm probably going to drink all this and then the rest of what's in this blender. But I like it. Now I'm going to go inhale my hydrogen. I guess I'll get it ready. Start moving some stuff around because I like to inhale my hydrogen while, you know what, I want to go get that heat pack again. I did turn down the heat, didn't I? There's this little heat pack I attached to my body. It looks kind of goofy, but in the mornings I just kind of like it. Heat, a primordial, it's like the first thing that we experience as babies, being warm in the mother's womb. I guess riblet, this goes to what you wanted to know, I think, riblet, but very spiritual in a lot of ways because that was the first thing that we pretty much felt, love and warmth. And we are so drawn to it, like a moth to a flame. But in my meditations, I've literally have gone back to when I was a baby and learned so much because we forget. We totally forget what it's like. And a lot of it is just because the brain wasn't even developed yet. So there's only one way to remember, and that's if you go through other channels which shall remain nameless. Okay, that should be enough. So that's sealed, clearly. And there you go. Vitamins for later. Okay, nutrients for later. I do love these smoothies. Doesn't mean this is the only thing I want to live off of, but I do like them. Sometimes you have to live off them, though, if you're unfortunately kind of sick. Because that's been part of, at least that's my whole protocol or whatever. All right, let's, so I can stop the video here unless you guys want to keep chatting. Which means I would bring you over here to my hydrogen inhalation station. I like to inhale while I'm drinking my smoothie to enhance it. And this is my morning routine for people who wanted to know. Okay, let's see if we can answer everybody else's questions before I hang up here. Let's see here. Seeking and Being says, let's talk about how difficult it is to find someone to be in a relationship with when your lifestyle is so regimented that the other person finds it burdensome. Maybe this is just my experience. You want to talk about that? Okay. Let me take my earpiece off and see if you guys, let me know if you can hear me. All right, let's see if you can hear me like this. we'll chat as long as there's no objections to what Seeking Bean wants to talk about. And of course, I have experience with this. Well, first, let me know you can hear me so that I'm not wasting my breath. Try to bring the camera closer. I need to buy a new tripod. This thing's, it's been great. It's literally what I've been using since the beginning of my videos, but it really is just an old, it's beat up. I need a new one. So can you guys hear me okay? I like the sweetness from the raisins. Tastes nice. I do like it. I like it. Nobody can hear me yet? Still waiting. I guess maybe you guys can't hear me. Maybe you're just watching me drink my smoothie. Maybe my carbon distiller is too noisy. I can shut it down for right now. Here, is it too noisy? Let me know if it's too noisy and I'll shut it down for right now if you want. Okay, Seeking and Being is the only one who can hear me. All right, so you want to talk about how difficult it is to find a partner with this lifestyle. And you know what? That's true. I don't hear the machine, but I hear you. Oh, okay, good. Because the machine is literally right next to the phone. Yes, it is very difficult to find somebody who will be as regimented or who cares as much. Now, you may meet somebody that will want to change. I've certainly had that experience on a lot of people. I had a lot of people around me make changes, not as much as I have changed, but have made a lot of changes. I wonder if I should take this apron off. I'm just afraid I'm gonna stain myself, which could happen. I think that you can meet somebody who's willing to make changes, maybe not as many, but willing to make some and improve their life. Some people just will never want to change, and it can be very, very difficult. I've adapted a lot to, I don't want to say that I don't care, but I'll just say that I don't spend a lot of time worrying or thinking about it. And I don't tell other people like, hey, you shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. I'm like, do whatever you want. They know what, well, not everybody, but a lot of people who know me know what I'm all about. What shocks me is when they say things like, you're still doing that? I'm like, this is the way I live. It's that song. But yeah, this is how I live. You know, though I'm going to be changing it up here in the near future because I'm going to have to, but I'm going to adapt to where I go. There's certain places that if I were to go to, there's just no adapting, you know. But the place that I'm going to choose to go, I should be able to. And yeah, so it is hard though. It is hard because think about the percentage of people who don't care about what they eat, how they really treat themselves. Like, I'll give you an example. The latest data in regards to how much fiber the body needs, it needs a lot. I mean, it really, really, really needs a lot of fiber, which blew my mind. I thought it needed some, of course. It needs way more than I expected. Less than 3% of Americans get the minimum amount of fiber that the body needs. And by the way, thanks for all the thumbs up. I just realized you guys were giving thumbs up. Thank you for that. Less than 3%, guys. Think about that for 1 second. I'll tell you right now, was I getting enough fiber before I changed my life? No. I was definitely on that 97+% of people who don't get enough fiber. Did that affect me? Absolutely. I mean, it was terrible. Diane McKenzie says, hi, Greg. Hi, Diane. So that's just one thing. And I recently had a health test, and I still haven't shown it because I'm embarrassed a little bit. I've been debating. I should probably just release it. I made a video. I haven't even released it. Where I had this health test done, and it showed, I believe that I'm like less than 1%. So I'm like, here's everybody. And I'm just like a little dot on the how much fiber is enough fiber. You'll be so shocked. You could act, if you want to see the actual numbers and see the whole research, go to, I'm always sending people to this guy's YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is called nutritionfacts.org. Blow my nose. Nutritionfacts.org, and type in, go to YouTube and type in on the search box, nutritionfacts.org space fiber. And he'll show you the whole study. And here, hold on, I gotta wash my hands. He'll show you the studies that were done. That's why I like that particular YouTube channel, because it's a doctor who doesn't try to sell anything. He actually just shows data, and it's typically about food. And I really like that guy, and I really wish him and I could do a show sometime, because I don't think he realizes what clean water and clean hydrogen can do for all the stuff he's talking about, because I've used a lot of that data to create my protocols. And if you're asking how much fiber is enough fiber, just let me tell you, it's almost impossible to get the amounts that were being shown in the studies, which is why they created the minimum number. So there was like a range, and they said, okay, this much fiber is amazing, but nobody can do that. So we're gonna have to go the minimum. And Stevie says, I know him, used to follow his channel before. There you go. And I like this fiber study. And so what do? Smoothies. This is how I get my fiber. Now, by the way, I'm not talking about fiber like a fiber supplement, because it's not the same. Greg, thanks, young man. Much appreciate. Blessings. Octavio Moreno. Right. You know what, guys? I hate to cut you off. Somebody's trying to call me. I guess, I tell you what. I don't know. I guess I have to shut this down and answer the call. Okay, so you need a lot of fiber. Hope all is well, guys. Thanks for watching. This is how I get my morning going. Obviously, I have to get to work. Take care. I'll see you guys.